All right, think about how much it costs to get your car or your truck fixed after a crash. It is rarely cheap.
Hardly ever. Now,
Right.
now consider that a Fox 4 investigation has uncovered that the Dallas City employees driving city-owned vehicles were involved in 2,500 crashes in less than 2 years. That's about 4 a day.
Now, only on Fox 4, Lori Brown found more problems than just bad luck, and it's actually putting your life and your money at risk. Lori.
Heather and Steve, the city of Dallas is in financial crisis mode over the police and fire pension and the sorry state of city streets. So every penny counts. But when we dug into employee crash data, we found that the city is doing little to get its repeat offenders off the streets, and it's all costing taxpayers millions of dollars.
So here's the damage they did.
Keith Norden believes the city of Dallas is at fault for a costly repair bill.
So it knocked that down, and I haven't been able to get anything done since.
Norden was out of town when a witness told police a large, white City of Dallas garbage truck rammed into this utility pole and then took off. The pole fell over and knocked out part of Norden's fence. His neighbors say the crash knocked out electricity on that block for 24 hours.
And I know it's an eyesore to the neighborhood.
When Norden got back in town, he says a sanitation department representative came to his house twice and told him to get estimates for the fence repair and file a claim. But since it was a hit and run, Norden could not prove the damage was done by a city garbage truck.
I can't help but think that if a car hit this, they wouldn't be able to pick up and leave.
The city of Dallas denied his claim, forcing repair costs to come out of his own pocket.
I just want this fixed. I pay my taxes, and so they've chosen not to take responsibility.
Norden is one of more than 1,300 people in Dallas in just 2 years who filed this type of claim for costly damage caused by city vehicles. While he did not get a dime, others have, and taxpayers are footing the bill. We found out that the city has paid out more than $3.2 million in claims since 2014, with many claims in recent years still pending.
He had a closed head injury, a concussion, and then ultimately needed shoulder surgery on his left shoulder.
Attorney Luis Hakim sued the city in 2014 after a trash truck crashed into his client's vehicle at a stop sign at Pine Street and the US 175 service road in southern Dallas. The city just settled the lawsuit in January for more than $188,000.
You know, from our perspective, it was driver inattention. Maybe he was driving the truck too fast for the conditions, wasn't able to come to a safe stop, and had to jerk the wheel to the left. The driver of the vehicle claimed that there was some kind of mechanical defect, and the brakes on the vehicle magically all of a sudden just went out. Either way, it's a city responsibility.
The city has not responded to our question about if the brakes on the city's trash truck suddenly gave out, nor have they provided any records yet that show the truck was repaired.
Whether it was his driver error or whether the city gave him a defective vehicle to drive around on the city streets, either way, it's not a good situation.
To keep track of all employee crashes, the city of Dallas has a point system. For example, if the city determines an employee is not at fault in a crash, the employee does not receive any points. An employee at fault in a minor crash is supposed to receive 1 to 2 points. A crash involving major bodily injury, 4 points. But the points are only counted for 2 years. After that, they disappear.
So to face termination, an employee would have to have as many as 9 preventable crashes or 3 major crashes causing serious bodily injury in a 2-year period. But in the case of the Pine Street crash, the driver did not receive any points on his record, even though the city list turned when unsafe as a contributing factor.
When he wasn't assessed any points for this collision with Mr. Hankins, then it's almost as if that crash didn't exist on his record at all.
What does exist on his record are 4 more crashes after the Pine Street crash. The city only found him at fault for 1 of the 4, and he is still driving for the city.
And the city basically buries their head in the sand, doesn't discipline you for it, gives you the keys back.
Turns out employees driving for the city of Dallas were involved in 2,500 crashes in just 20 months. And of those crashes, the city determined in 1,300 of them, the city's driver was at fault.
That sounds incredibly shocking to me. In fact, I've asked city staff to verify that those are the right numbers because it just seems impossible.
But it is the city's own data provided to us that showed there were 24 city employees with 3 crashes each that they were at fault for in less than 2 years, and 4 employees with 5 or more at-fault collisions.
We need to determine if we've got the right people in the right jobs. If we have people who just can't drive, who are being asked to drive, then that's a problem.
The average is anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000.
People like Keith Norton hope the city of Dallas will do a better job tracking, disciplining, and training its drivers who are repeat offenders, so fewer people have to be stuck with costly repair bills, injuries, or worse.
If I had an employee that worked for me, they would be disciplined. You have to do that to run a business, and I don't see why that can't be done in a city.
Councilman Philip Kingston doesn't see why it can't be done either. Both he and Jennifer Gates are looking into the high number of repeat crashes to see if the city needs to change the way it retains and disciplines drivers, and he wants this to be discussed in an upcoming council meeting. Heather?
All right, so Lori, you mentioned the driver in the crash that cost the city, almost $200,000, tax dollars, I should point out, didn't get any points on his record. Who decides that he wasn't at fault in this situation?
Heather, it is the city that decided that the city isn't at fault. So you've got the city making this decision, and it seems like the policy is set up so that it protects the city from liability. But if the city can't get rid of bad drivers, then they're going to have a lot more crashes, and that is going to be a lot more costly for everyone. The city has not answered our questions about why they purged their drivers' crash records. Heather?
All right, Lori Brown, live. Thank you.